What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jay. I am back once again, and I hope you guys are ready for another shot of pop culture because I have another comic chaser. That's right, we are here for Comic Chaser. I believe this is episode number 5. I'll have the correct episode number in the title and thumbnail, but I want to say this is episode number 5. It's a pretty light week. We only have 2 books this week, but honestly, I'm always happy to have a light week of books. I did add a couple things to my pull list recently on the Marvel side of things. I'll talk about that when those books come out, but yeah, you'll see soon. But I've got Psylocke and Ultimate X-Men. No need to, cut the suspense here. So I don't really have to do a build-up of, which one is eventually going to be the pick of the week. We only have 2 books. We're going to start with Psylocke, though. I enjoy this series a lot. I love this variant cover, first off. This is beautiful. I didn't really like the regular main cover they had on sale, but luckily my shop only got this variant because this just looks so much better. This is written by Alyssa Wong with art by Vincenzo Caratu. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. I really like this series. This series is very much like kind of high action, Psylocke's own little side personal missions with her own supporting cast. It kind of gives me the same vibe I got when I read that first issue of Elektra Unleash Hell. I don't really know much about Quanon's version of Psylocke. I mean, I did read the Krakoa stuff during the Krakoa age, but I didn't read X-Force, which was the main book she was in. I think she was also in Hellions. But I don't know much about Quanon because, the Psylocke I'm familiar with is the Betsy Braddock Psylocke who, possessed Quanon's body. That whole, complicated mess. But so far, it's really interesting. The other reason that this reminds me of Elektra a lot, it has that kind of vibe, is because, of course, very much like Elektra, Quanon is a former child soldier of the Hand, and so a lot of that comes into play, and we kind of see her assassin background kind of come back, and how she utilizes those skills that she was taught as an assassin of the Hand in her day-to-day. And basically what happened is her boyfriend John Greycrow got attacked by some killer robots, and his arm was straight up just attached, shoved into her door, and, attached to it was a note that said, "Come find me," and it had a bunch of these weird mutated butterflies. So she has her guy in the chair, Devin, analyze the butterflies while she goes in to find John Redcorn. I almost called him John Redcorn. This is not King of the Hill. John Greycrow. She goes to find John Greycrow. Luckily, Greycrow, if you don't know who John Greycrow is, he was involved, again, in a lot of the X-Men stuff. He was formerly one of Mr. Sinister's Marauders. He has the ability to basically... It's like technomancy, technomorphism. He has the ability to manipulate technology, machines, and stuff like that, and basically kind of turn them into components for other things that he can build. So he, again, even though he lost an arm, it's no big deal for him. He could just build himself a robot arm, no big deal. He did manage to not bleed out, so that's good. He's still alive, and I love this because it just fleshes out more of Quanon's supporting characters. Her relationship with John Greycrow is very interesting. It feels very genuine. They're both kind of these killers on a journey to redemption, and they just kind of understand each other and can be very vulnerable, and it's very sweet. I like it. So essentially, she's like, wait a minute, I've seen those butterflies before. Devin couldn't really get a hit on anything, so she's like, there is one place I have seen these kind of butterflies before. Let me go talk to Shinobi Shaw, Sebastian Shaw's son. She's like, all right, Shinobi, where are these butterflies from? A bunch of these butterflies were attached to this note, stapled to my door, that also had John Greycrow's arm attached to it. What the fuck is going on here? Did you do this? Did you put a hit on John Greycrow? He goes, no. Why? Why would I be jealous of your, you know, dumb little boyfriend? Even though they have like a dick measuring contest. Like, you know, did she tell you about that one time we slept together? The night of Krakoa's foundation. It was magical. Like, it's just such petty bullshit. Like, it's like he's a fucking teenager or something. Like, it's just so immature. But essentially, uh, Shaw gives the details. Shinobi gives the details about like how he met this one kid who is a family friend, has a strong connection to the Shaw family. The family is called the Hanovers, and basically he was introduced to Tai, the youngest son of the family, who had some kind of not only genetic mutation but genetic disease, and he was just a freaky weirdo, like a type of kid who like exhibits that like sicko serial killer behavior, like cuts open animals, does taxidermy and shit on that Norman Bates type beat, and he's like, yeah, he freaked me out, and that's saying something. Like, I'm a pretty twisted motherfucker, and he scared the shit out of me. I don't know why he wants you, but I'd stay away from him. He's fucking weird. But Quanden's like, no, he fucking attacked my boyfriend, and more than likely has something to do with those mutant kids that I rescued last issue from that underground fighting arena, from that weird rich people eyes wide shut party. So I need to stop him before he goes after anybody else that is important to me. And more importantly, he somehow managed to break into the fucking factory, aka like Cyclops' team's like stronghold base. So if he's able to do that, that means nobody in Quanden's life is safe, so she just has to take care of the problem now. So if she confronts him, and I'm not gonna lie, dude has a kind of sick design. I'm kind of mad that there are so many disabled fucking X-Men villains. He's in a wheelchair, and he's got like a disfigured face, and he has these weird like sewed up Chimera Frankenstein mutant animals. And it looks freaky. He's also got a skull cane, which is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, that skull cane looks pretty badass. But I'm interested to see what's going on. This is just a fun book where I really enjoy the action. The art is so like kinetic and really well done. And also, I love that Devin is starting to create these like psychic powered gadgets. And one of them are homing shuriken or homing kunai, and it reminds me of Psylocke's right click, or her secondary fire from Marvel Rivals. Shout out to any of my Psylocke mains in the comments. I wanted to main Psylocke because her vengeance skin, and I do like Psylocke as a character, but I kind of got off that and went to healer. But yeah, really like this book. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's just a nice action adventure. I like to mix things up. Yeah, I'm into all like the big heavy drama and intricate story, but simple, like, espionage type thrillers with good action. Psylocke is always a solid read. I'd give this a 4 out of 5. Last but certainly not least, my pick of the week out of this very light week is, of course, Ultimate X-Men number 11. Art and written and drawn by the wonderful Peach Momoko. And this issue was awesome. We got like double Psylocke this week because we got to see more of Ultimate Quanon, the ultimate version of Psylocke in these 616. So that's pretty cool. We also see Nico and Mori go investigate Natsu's house. They basically break into Natsu's house to try and find out what's up with Natsu, since Natsu just kept ignoring Mori when Mori was like spamming phone calls. But if you remember what happened last month with Natsu and what she did to her mom, you understand why. They did not come across that yet, and that's gonna be rough when they do, cause yeesh. Also, this further confuses me. Right, and maybe somebody who is reading Black Panther might be able to help me out here. So it really confuses me with this X-Men book because like May calls herself Maystorm, but then they like are like going through their phones and like just looking up news and media, and they mention Storm being an ally and freedom fighter in Wakanda. So like, all right, so like May has white hair and power over wind and lightning. Like, it feels like she's Storm-ish, even with like the how her hair is drawn too. It feels kind of Storm-ish, but she calls herself Maystorm. But we also know Aurora Monroe exists, and she's just going by Aurora. I don't know if they actually call her Storm. I don't read Black Panther, but like from what I understand, they just refer to her by name. So like, is Maystorm the Storm of the Ultimate Universe, or is like Aurora Monroe the Storm of the Ultimate Universe? That just confuses the fuck out of me. Anyway, we also see that May is playing a very dangerous game because she has now began to infiltrate the Children of the Atom and is trying to basically kind of save them from the inside. And then the issue ends with her being confronted by Kageyama, aka Ultimate Shadow King, and he's just like, I know you know Hisako, neighbor. Tell me where she is. And I knew it. I knew that she saw him in his like human form in their building. So like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And like, I already know from all like the ads and promo stuff, issue number 13 is going to be a big turning point for Ultimate X-Men, because it's going to be Hisako and her friends versus the Mutant Uprising. So the Children of the Atom are going to make their big move sometime in issue 13. So I feel like this is definitely the calm before the storm, but things are definitely moving here, and I can't wait to see what happens next. It's about to get real fast. And also, like I said, we get to see Kwanon confront Hisako, and they have a little bit of a fight just to kind of gauge their powers, or I guess Kwanon is more so gauging Hisako's powers. And hopefully this will eventually lead to a friendship. I like that she kind of turned, instead of using a traditional psychic blade like regular Psylocke does, this Psylocke like turns her kendo sword, her wooden kendo sword, into a like psychic bat with nails in it. Very classic Bancho. You know, she's already got that kind of like Japanese Bancho delinquent vibe, so it just fits her aesthetic and overall personality very well. So really interested to see more from her, and I hope that she does, you know, team up with the rest of the gang, and I can't wait to see where this all goes. Overall, this is definitely my pick of the week. 5 out of 5. I am absolutely in love with Ultimate X-Men. This is probably my second favorite Ultimate Universe book, right behind Ultimate Spider-Man. For me, it goes Ultimate Spider-Man, then Ultimate X-Men, then Ultimates. I do not read Ultimate Black Panther, but I've heard really great things. Ultimate Wolverine is too new for me to kind of put on the list yet, but I did enjoy Ultimate Wolverine. But overall, really good book. Again, light week, but a great week nonetheless. Let me know what you guys thought about your pulls and all the books you read in the comments down below this week. Next week, I'm sure will be a little bit heavier, but again, glad to see a light week with this being like towards the end of the month. Next week, brand new month, new books. I know like the next issue of Scarlet Witch is coming out already, and it's going to feature Black Cat, so that's going to be fun. Can't wait to talk about that. But until next time, you guys, this has been Jay, and I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of Comic Chaser, because I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I hope you've enjoyed your shot of pop culture. Until next time, I'll see you next week. Cheers!